When you live alone long enough, you learn the sounds of your house, not just the obvious ones, not the loud bangs or sudden crashes. I mean the quiet sounds. You learn how the pipes tick when hot water cools. You learn the exact rhythm of the fridge when it kicks back on at night. You learn which floorboard near the hallway sighs when the temperature drops. You learn the way the walls breathe when the wind presses against them. A house, when you live in it long enough, becomes predictable. So when I tell you that I started hearing footsteps after midnight, I didn't panic at first. I knew immediately something was wrong because they weren't my footsteps and they weren't the house. I moved into the house 3 weeks earlier, out on the edge of town where the streetlights thin out and the road stops pretending it's busy. One floor, 2 bedrooms, a narrow hallway that connected everything like a spine. The real estate agent called it quiet, used the word peaceful twice. No neighbors close enough to hear you, no traffic at night, just enough isolation to feel like privacy. That should have been a warning. The first night passed without incident. The second night, too. On the third night, I woke up suddenly, not from a dream. Not from a sound, just awake. My phone said 12:41 a.m. I remember feeling irritated more than scared. The kind of irritation you feel when your body betrays you for no reason. I was just about to roll over when I heard it. A single footstep, soft, careful, inside the house. It didn't come from outside, didn't come from above or below. It came from the hallway. Another step followed, then another, slow, measured. Like someone walking barefoot on wood, making sure not to be heard. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. I waited for the sound to stop. It didn't. The footsteps passed my bedroom door. I could tell exactly where they were by the creak pattern of the floorboards. Because I knew that hallway. The steps reached the living room and faded. No door opened. No door closed, just silence. I lay there for a long time after that, staring into the dark, telling myself it was nothing. Houses make sounds. Old wood settles. Stress does strange things to your brain. Eventually, exhaustion won. I fell asleep. That was my first mistake. The next night, I woke up again. 12:41 a.m. This time, I didn't check my phone until after the sound started. The footsteps were closer now. They stopped. Right outside my bedroom door. I stared at the handle. I watched it the way you watch a wild animal through glass, afraid that any sudden movement would invite something terrible. Nothing touched the door. Instead, whoever or whatever was out there simply stood still. No shifting weight, no breathing, just waiting. A full minute passed. Then the footsteps resumed, moving away down the hall. That night I locked my bedroom door. Every night after that I did the same. The next morning I bought a motion sensor camera, cheap, barely reliable. I set it up at the end of the hallway, angled so it could see every door. If someone was breaking in, I wanted proof. If I was losing my mind, I wanted proof of that too. That night I barely slept. When morning came, my hands were shaking as I checked the footage. Nothing, no movement, no shadows, no glitching, just an empty hallway. The footsteps continued, every night, always after midnight, always at 12:41. Sometimes they walked once through the house, sometimes back and forth like pacing. Sometimes they stopped outside my door for longer than before. Once they ran. That night the sound tore through the hallway at full speed, back and forth, until it felt like the walls themselves were shaking. I sat on my bed, clutching my phone, waiting for the door to burst open. It never did. The running just stopped. That's when I noticed the smaller things. Cabinet doors left open. Lights switched off that I knew I had left on. The bathroom mirror fogged over in the morning, even when I hadn't used hot water. I started sleeping with lamps on. That didn't help. The footsteps still came. They just stayed farther back, just beyond the light, as if watching. The first note appeared on a Tuesday. It sat on the kitchen counter, right where I would see it when I made coffee. Plain white paper, folded once. No handwriting I recognized. 3 words. You're a light sleeper. My stomach dropped. Someone had been in my house while I slept. I tore the place apart. Every closet, every crawl space, every cabinet and attic corner. I checked the locks, the windows, the vents, nothing, no forced entry, no hidden rooms. The house was empty. That night I didn't sleep. The footsteps still came, slower than ever. 2 nights later I found the second note. It was taped to my bedroom door, on the inside. I don't remember opening the door. I just remember standing there, staring at it, heart pounding so hard it hurt. It read, "I try not to wake you." That was the night I left. I packed a bag and went to a friend's place across town, slept on his couch. Lights on, TV murmuring static and reruns all night. No footsteps, no notes. I almost convinced myself it was over. Almost. When I returned the next morning, my front door was unlocked. I knew I had locked it. Inside, everything looked normal, except for the third note. It was taped to the hallway wall, right where the footsteps always stopped. It said, "You left the light on." That night, I moved my mattress into the living room. I wanted to see the hallway. I wanted to know. Midnight passed. 12:41 a.m. arrived. The footsteps began, slow, closer. I watched as a shadow stretched across the wall, too tall, too thin. It stopped just beyond the edge of the light. And then I heard it, not with my ears, inside my head, a voice that wasn't a voice. "Turn IT off." The lamp flickered. My phone lit up on its own, a message notification. Unknown number. I can't stand the light. The footsteps entered the room. Still no body, just sound. Step, 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 I screamed. The lights went out, every single one. I woke up on the floor in the morning. The house was silent. The lights were back on. The camera footage was gone, all of it, except for one frame. A still image. The hallway, and at the end of it, something standing in the dark, watching the camera, watching me. I don't live there anymore. I don't live alone anymore either, because sometimes, just after midnight, I hear footsteps, and they aren't in my house. They're inside my head, and they are getting closer,